Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon,
And I'm Mom.
and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, and Mom, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Brandon, how are you doing?
All is well here. I'm excited for us to get on to our Wednesday.
That sounds great, Brandon. What are we doing today?
Well, Mom, we are discussing another season finale.
Yes, we're going to talk about Happy's Place.
Yes, and so this is episode 18 of the series titled Alarm Bells that aired March 21st, 2025.
Yes, and this episode is about Emmett and Bobby discovering that they have feelings for each other.
Yeah, and Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And overall, what do you think about this episode?
I thought the episode was cutesy. It was Isabella kind of just discovering that Emmett and Bobby seemed to like each other. It took her a little while to figure it out, whereas the others in the group, they already knew this. And so it was kind of fun watching them as they actually played arcade games. And they meaning, well, actually everyone on there played arcade games. And so it was kind of fun to watch them during this scene and when it kind of hits Emmett and Bobby, what they're feeling. But of course, not anything really is explored for this episode. It's just more so just a mention, per se.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was fun to watch, and I really enjoyed the fact that we were able to bring in elements from the season into the story of this one, while also letting it be its own fun episode.
Yep, I would say that too. Brandon, what have been your thoughts about Happy's Place throughout the season?
I've really enjoyed it this season and being able to explore the different characters as they've been on screen, and I've liked it as a whole as well, being a part of NBC's Friday comedy block.
Yeah, actually, I've really enjoyed it too, Brandon. I have. There are some times I thought I was a little slower, but overall, I really do enjoy the series, and I thought they've done. I think they've done a great job of kind of exploring all of the characters too, because there are a small. I won't say small group. There's a group of characters, but they've kind of let them come on their own, and I've liked the way they've developed them.
Yeah, I definitely like how they're able to explore the tavern employees and even the family life of Bobby and her sister Isabella. And I like that how they paced everything, because the show is in an interesting position where they are speaking about the home dynamic, well, the life dynamic of Bobby and Isabella, but also taking place at their workplace. And so it's interesting because the show had to figure out how to do that while also showing a little bit of their personal life, because they do live together, and it's not like all their interactions are just at the tavern.
Yes, and they've even brought for Bobby's life. I like that they've kind of shown, her daughter, and they've talked about her father. Well, they talk about her father all the time, but they've let Emmett and Bobby have some conversations about her father, and then of course on the Isabella side, I like that they brought in her mother too to kind of, start to bring these layers onto the show.
Yeah, I definitely like that they're able to do that, and I thought that did a great job for storytelling. And even though that both of those characters are mentioned throughout the series, I like that they were only shown once, not because I don't want to see them again, but it lets the show develop on its own without bringing in a whole bunch of extra characters.
Yeah, it did, and so it's something that I found enjoyable. I'm kind of looking forward to the next season to see now that they've brought in the layers and how they plan to develop that a little further.
Oh yeah, I definitely am very excited to see what they hold for next season, and I hope that we're able to continue learning about each of these characters. And something that I was telling you off screen a little bit is, while I love the characterizations that they've given the characters, I'd like to see more from Dakota, just because oftentimes he's within everyone else's storylines, and he oftentimes speaks about his children and his personal values, but we don't oftentimes see a storyline for him personally. So I'd love to see them dive into his character more, because I do enjoy him, and I just hope he gets his own story.
Yep, same here, Brandon. Same here. And something else that I've also enjoyed is I've liked that Reba has brought in some previous cast members that she's worked with before, and so that was kind of that was fun to watch. Both both of her previous co-stars come into the series.
Yeah, and are we able to speak of that a little bit?
Yep, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so the first person to come in, well, first of all, of course, Melissa Peterman, that played Barbara Jean on Reba, is a main actress here as Gabby, and I certainly love her character being on here regularly, and I like that they're able to have the same dynamic, but with new characters.
Yep, same here, same here.
Yeah, and while the series per se doesn't go out of its way to distinguish a Bobby and Gabby from a Reba to Barbara Jean, there is a little bit of a subtle difference, but it's again that same familiar dynamic that we enjoy.
Yes.
But yeah, but to take that a little bit further, we're able to see Steve Howie that played Van on Reba. He is here as Danny for one episode, and I would say that's probably one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I missed him until I saw. Of course, we've talked about True Lies, which will be a connection later. But we've, I did when I saw him, I realized that I missed him as an actor, and then to see him again, I thought that was really great.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed him, and I liked that episode titled "Ho Ho Howie." Very appropriate. Episode 7. I really liked it in that it was able to use his character for us to learn more about each of the characters on this show, while also having a very fun outtake of that episode.
Yeah, I love that outtake of the episode. I'm so glad that they actually let that air.
Yeah, I definitely liked it, and yeah, there were two different subtle references within the aired version as well, in which he mentions that the people at the tavern remind him a lot of these people that he used to know a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I enjoyed that. And then we have Reba's husband, Brock, who was on an episode too.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed his cameo as the tattoo artist, and I just thought that was just done really well.
Yes, they did a nice job. So look forward to seeing if any of the other actors on Reba will kind of join in as a guest role.
Yeah, and I would certainly like to see these two appear back, even if it's just a cameo seasons from now, just because I thought it was they were just really well done.
Yes, yeah. Let's say, is there anything you're looking forward to for next season, Brand?
I would love to see Bobby's daughter Gracie return back in a more recurring role a little later into next season.
Okay. That sounds great. And I agree with you there. Along with, I do like Emmett. I'm just speaking as a character. I think he's really funny. So I would love to see them just explore him as a character.
Yeah, I really enjoy him as a character, and I love his interactions with Isabella, especially after that episode Ho Ho Howie, where he mentions that I'm out. I never realized that was his signature catchphrase until then, when they thought his name was out. And so now I sort of look for that in the episodes when he realizes that the Isabella shenanigans have gone on too long.
Yeah. And I hadn't picked up on that. So I'll have to kind of listen for that.
But yeah, so I definitely enjoy that. But a character that I didn't realize I was going to enjoy as much as I do is the character of Steve, the accountant.
All right. Why do you enjoy him, Brandon?
Oh, I just really love the way that he's characterized, and while we may see him, somewhat as a germaphobe at times, or very particular, I nevertheless like that they're able to give him this really fun personality that works well with everyone, and even his banter with Gabby that they established a little later in the season. And so I enjoy that we're able to get fun personality from him.
Yeah, actually, same here. And I really, like you said, the banter with Gabby, I think that's what kind of makes it. They have a really nice relationship, and I like to see that.
Yeah, and I should add that the show has a little bit of physical comedy in it, which I've always enjoyed.
Yes. Yeah. And I will say, Brandon, one of the things that I find really catchy is the theme song. I talked about it before, but I really like it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I think that's one of the things I look forward to when watching the show, and especially those little clues that we were given on the first episode.
Yes, yeah. So, and Brandon, I like to rate the shows, and so 1 through 5, 5 being the highest. And we're just speaking about this episode itself. I think I would give it a 4. To me, it was a strong B-ish, so a 4 is what I would give it. What about you, Brand?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. It definitely is an enjoyable episode. I think a fitting end for the season, and I can't wait to see what season two will bring. And I'm so glad that it was renewed for a second season.
Yep, same here. All right, Brandon, what are our connections?
Okay, so you of course mentioned some of the connections with some of the earlier guest stars of the season, such as those that were on Reba, but we do have a connection from another show from earlier this season.
All right, what is that, Brand?
So that is with Bobby's daughter Gracie.
Yes, she was on the Connors.
Yes, and so it was fun to see Emma Kinney in this role, and I will say that despite her character similarities with that of Harris on the Connors, I like that it feels like a different character.
I didn't even think about her as being Harris, and so I thought, so which to me I think is really great that they were able to change the character enough where it can become his own.
Yeah, and yeah, I hadn't seen her act in anything outside of the Connors, but I will say I like that she was able to make her performance feel different. Like truly, like you're saying, I wouldn't have relayed the two if I obviously didn't know who the actress was.
Yeah, neither would I.
And yeah, and this episode right here is written by one of the co-creators of the series, Kevin Abbott.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, anything else you'd like to add on for Happy Place, Brandon?
Well, for the most part, I think that's well, Mom. I think for the most part, that's largely it for this episode in the season. Although I will say that one of the earlier directors of the season, we do have a little connection with.
Oh, who's that?
So for episode 3 of the show, titled "Don't Sweat It," the director of that episode is Joanna Kearns.
Oh, that's one of Growing Pains, one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, so I always love it whenever we're able to mention these connections, and especially for the behind the scenes people too.
Yes, same here, Brandon. I'd say, well, we thank everybody for joining us today.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
All right, and we'll see you next time.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, bye, everybody.